bliss, gorgeousness, and gorgeosity itself. Another hour of live television to fill. And thank you for inviting us once again into your homes or wherever you happen to be right now. Maybe a bar room or a cemetery. I don't know. But wherever you are, thanks for joining us. Planet Valenti Television coming your way again. PVTV, live and in real time, unless you're watching this on a replay. And of course, I have no control over that, so I might as well say good evening right now, live. Good morning and good afternoon, depending on when you see us again or for the first time. And we're here to, again, share some information, discuss some issues. We'll have our first live guest tonight. And again, I honestly don't know if the empty suit is going to come by. I have a contingency, though, that just might work. And you'll have to see what that is as we go along. Now, let me just start off by offering a bargain, a deal, and then a challenge to Mayor Dan Bianchi. And he's probably watching. They say they don't watch. And you know that everyone watches who is interested in politics. And not just the politicians, of course. A lot of ordinary people. Show seems to be catching on and finding our place. And the offer is this. If Mayor Bianchi, and again directly to you, if you stop spreading lies about me, I'll stop telling the truth about you. Okay, so think it over, and if you accept, we'll both, I think, be happy with the deal. That's the best trade, in baseball, where both teams find that it works out for them. The challenge is this. I would challenge you, and this is really more of an invitation than a challenge, but why don't you come on the set and in person? And we would love to have you. We would show the respect of your office, and we would, of course, pose some questions. And so far, you have chosen to ignore all of my requests and entreaties, going back almost 2 years now, year and a half anyways. And we will, again, here in public now, where everything is out in the open, invite you on the show if you wish to come. If you don't, if you're afraid to come on for some reason, I'm a reasonable guy. I'm a nice guy. I have a soft heart. That will be your decision. Are you hiding something? I don't know. I'm just asking. So the invitation is there. We would be more than happy to have you grace our set in the flesh and not in the fabric. So anyways, that done, just a brief review of headlines in case you missed it. And I'll give Andrew a Melnix of the boring broadsheet, a newspaper formerly known as the Berkshire Eagle, for getting this story out there. The Eagle did not give it a whole lot of play, but nonetheless it was there. 3 shootings over the weekend in Pittsfield. Gunfire, gunplay. It's like the Old West out there. Dodge City. There was a shooting at the motel on West Housatonic Street out by Jimmy's restaurant past the bridge. There was gunfire exchanged, and it was discovered after the fact. Apparently someone in a motel room and someone outside trying to get into the motel room exchanged bullets, and no one apparently was hit. These guys couldn't shoot straight anyways, couldn't find the ocean with a shotgun most of the time. Another shooting on Dewey Avenue, still a third shooting, again, all on the weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Hell of a way to celebrate, isn't it? The third shooting at 3rd Street and Silver Lake, and this is a symptom, folks. And these are just the ones that make the paper or make the headlines or make the news. For each three of these, there are so many that happen that are just, they remain silent and unheard of except for the principles involved. The mean streets, you just take a walk down North Street any day during the week. On weekends, it's pretty much empty, but during the week, you'll see all sorts of critters coming out of the woodwork. It's not Kansas anymore, and it's not the North Street of 1958. No one expects it to be, but at least we expect it to be a safe place. It no longer is. And we're not being negative. If you want the positive spin, just read the boring broadsheet, go to the Chamber of Commerce, go to anybody else with a vested interest in maintaining the illusion that everything is just hunky-dory. If you want the truth, which a growing number of you do, you come here to the Planet, PVTV, and online at planetvalenti.com. School committee voted 7-0 to... Aren't you getting sick of these 7-0 votes? Where's Terry Kinnis when we need him? Maybe we can conjure him up. 7-0 vote, a series of 7-0 votes. No opposition, very little discussion, hardly any debate. This time to cut 3 programs out of the vocational offerings of the Pittsfield school system. It's going down from 15 to 12, which is a reduction in my mathematical mind of 20%. They have decided, what did they cut? They cut engineering, they cut information technology, and office technology. 3 careers that are actually showing growth. And that's an interesting clue as to the real feelings of the school administration. They don't believe in the future of this city. They pretend to believe. If they thought there was an economic future for these young people, they would not have cut engineering. They would not have cut office technology. They would not have cut information technology, IT. Why do you cut that? Good Lord. That's a growing field, but Pittsfield knows better. They decided to keep 12 programs. What are they? Cosmetology, astrology, psychic reading, dollar store technology. You see, what they've done is they've analyzed the economy and are trying to figure where the jobs are. Horticulture, and it's spelled W-H-O-R-E. I guess it's to keep up with the growing incidence. Horticulture is here. Meth manufacturing. It's an interesting program. Grand theft auto, lottery technology, early childhood abuse, domestic beating, gang signal communications. You know, it's all that stuff, like whatever that means. I probably just sent a message I don't even know about. And 2 more programs, single teen mom technology and slum and garbage arts. So you can see where the school committee thinks the future of the city lies. It's not in engineering, it's not in information technology, IT, and it's not in office technology. And again, this was done by a 7-0 vote. So Terry Kinnis, we turn our lonely eyes to you, woo, woo, woo. Let's go to some letters here, and we shall share a few of them with you. Hold on a second while I turn this page. Okay. All right, let's go to this one. All right, Planet, it's looking like it's time to move on from Pittsfield. The budget is out of control. The roads really suck. The welfare druggie population keeps growing. There's no end in sight. That is from Still Wondering. This is from Dusty, who sends to the Planet. There are a ton of for sale signs on homes around the city. Makes me wonder if people are reading the tea leaves and cutting their losses. We have been waiting for it to get better for a long, long time. You're correct there, Dusty. It is great that we can all talk about turning the city around with honest politicians. We talk about an oxymoron. And good paying jobs. But what real evidence, Dusty asks, is there that it will ever happen and in time to save any seniors' nest eggs? Personally, I feel trapped here, but if I were younger, I would be seriously looking for another town to live in. That apparently is what's happening, as the Berkshire Regional Planning Commission has done an exhaustive study of population trends. And I'll tell you what, if you project this out 5, 10, 15, 20 years, the population, not just of the city, but especially the city as the county seat, but also the county in general, is going to plummet. It's currently at about 125 to 129,000, down from 132,000 not so long ago, and it's projected in a few years to be down to 80,000. Think about this, folks. That's an exodus of about almost, 50,000 people. And clearly unsustainable, and we're going to get into this with our guest in just a little while, when you have a mayor and a city council and a school committee who just continues to kowtow to the special interests and the suits by passing budget increase after budget increase. It is a matter of time. Here's one. We'll do two more short ones. Two brief ones. Smoking. This is from Nota. Smoking in city parks was the order of the day at the council meeting. Yeah, ban that. Apparently that's what the council was talking about. And yet allow grown men walking around Clap Park track with their bare bellies and underwear showing. Flying model airplanes while the ball fields and walking track are in use also is not appropriate either, and dangerous. Nota, thank you. And finally, this is from, I love this, IDA, next word, last name of Ho, H-O, Idaho, must be Vietnamese. I saw active drug use and dealing at both the Common and Clap Park in the open, with people using the parks, Common especially, during a ball game, exclamation point. Police officer there, nothing done. Also a bunch of teens littering and trashing. Again, nothing said, nothing done. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for nothing. That is from Idaho. So just a few letters to start us off with. And, our correspondents, we might want to show the secret squadron again here, because we're just a party of one. We can only be in so many places at one time, and couldn't get it done without the secret squadron. And, oh yeah, there they are. You can see them up on the monitor. These are our highly trained Z operatives. These are the Z agents, the trainers. And we've kind of altered, those aren't the real faces. We got to keep their identities private. But we have folks, basically, it's a network of sources. And you would be shocked, and the mayor would be shocked, and the finance director would be shocked, and a lot of people would be stunned to know where our sources come from and what offices they might inhabit. So it's like the shadow. The shadow knows, and so does the planet. And it's thanks to these folks in the secret squadron. We can't reveal too much. A busy day on the planet. We call it Planet Wars. That's when something's breaking. When we got the word of the fair-haired boy from Kentucky, Mr. Monterosso. He got in some trouble there, and the Blue Moon of Kentucky did not go on shining. We got on that story. We got on the free house that was built. cost to taxpayers a great deal through the carpentry students at Taconic High School. Free house built just by a miraculous coincidence for the secretary of the assistant superintendent of vocational. His secretary winds up getting the free house built. And can we show Planet Wars? It's what it looks like when things, maybe not, maybe that's not queued up. Yeah, there it is. This was a still photograph taken when one of those stories was breaking, and you can see there's all sorts of activity. It's hard to keep it in order, but that's why I guess I'm in the commandant's chair, or as the con, as James T. Kirk used to call it, to direct all of that stuff. And finally, we'll give you a glimpse of the Fortress of Solitude from where we write planetvalenti.com every day. And actually, this is a cover story. Folks think we broadcast this out of the PCTV studios on Federico Drive in beautiful outskirts of downtown Pittsfield. We really don't. There is the Fortress. This is the TV studio of the Fortress. And it's located high on a mountainside, overlooking the city, in a location that has previously been and shall remain undiscovered. You will not find it. You will not see it on Google Quest. You will not find it on any satellite technology that might try to locate this. The GPS does not have that. What we have right now, though, is our first live guest. And if we can get our studio audience ready to give our guest a huge hand, because I've talked about this guy many times and written about the fine job he did. We had a letter that I just read talking about an honest politician. Well, we had one in this city. He served on the school committee not long ago, the previous term, and decided for personal reasons and whatnot not to run again. But he's still involved in city government. A guy who does his homework, who issues facts, and tries to deal with truth as he sees it, and does a great job of presenting data to support his positions, which is why he was constantly on the end of 6-1 votes on the Pittsfield School Committee. And we're going to bring him out right now. Folks, give it up for Mr. Terry Kinnis. Terry, me boy. How you doing, me boy?
More fun.
Okay, well, we're going to have a little bit more fun tonight, and we're going to talk about some numbers. And, as I just said, folks, of course, most of the folks watching will know who you are and know that you did serve on the school committee. A period where you did and introduced a lot of great initiatives, but as we said, found little support.
Pretty accurate. A couple of the things that I was hoping to get done was basically start the consolidation process of the business offices with the city, all purchasing, information technology.
IT. Schools have IT, city has IT.
Right.
Schools have maintenance, city has maintenance. School has purchasing, city has purchasing. School has HR, city has HR.
Right.
2 departments.
So the city side, the building department does most of the city's work on the city schools, because the schools theoretically are the property of the city of Pittsfield. And however, when you talk about the budget, which you do very well, it is somewhere probably close to $90 to $1 million for education. Education is supported.
Keep your mic there.
Education is supported in the city from about 90 to $1 million.
Let me just stop you there, because it's a point I think that's well worth making. We know that the budget that's proposed, 148.14 million by the mayor, is out there, and they list the school portion of that as it's just under $58 million, between 57 and 58. Now you just gave us 93 million, which is a figure I accept. That's the real number. Now explain how they hide that other 40 some odd million dollars.
Well, let me pick.
They hide it.
Well, it's not really hidden.
It's really hidden. Try to identify it. Try to extract the school costs for those hidden items.
Well, I got up to 84 million on the state's website. I think it was the Department of Revenue website. What they leave out in the way the budgets are done here, you don't know what is what because the insurances aren't distributed, the health insurances, and that's around an $18 million bill.
In other words, insurance for school department employees is carried on the city side of the budget. It's
Yes.
not counted in the school budget. Same is true for transportation costs? Yeah, basically, right?
Well, it's counted on the school side, but there's no state reimbursement for it.
It's not part of the 57 million, though.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that
It is.
Yes.
I think Terry is mistaken on that, but
No, on page 6.
all right. Well, let's say that it is.
Yeah.
Pension costs
You don't see
for
those.
the schools.
You
You
don't
don't
see
see those. Maintenance, as we just said, school has a maintenance cost. Do we have
Okay.
other costs that are hidden city side?
Okay,
I think we do. Anyways,
I could get into that. It's part of what they call the foundation budget.
Yeah,
It's
but
required by this. Now the state of Massachusetts. Okay, our good friends in the House and Senate, they require by legislation and by CMR that
CMR is the state's procurement procedures.
well, that the city school department budgets, the foundation budget, is 67 million. And the city has to add another 20 something to that. I forget the number off
So
the top
we're in
of
the
my head.
80s.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
get
yeah.
7 million from the feds.
Well,
And it all depends on how you add it up. But if you really added every dollar of the municipal budget that is spent on schools, it's probably north of $100 million.
I would say probably,
Yeah.
if you really did a good auditing of it or a checking of it, yes.
And this is why I say, and you'll see the media and the city refer to the schools costing $57 million, and that is technically accurate, but that's also another way of saying it's kind of dishonestly presented.
Oh, I think anytime the public has money out there, because as you and I talk about it, who's paying for this? You got a mirror?
You got a mirror.
Yep.
Terry, how frustrating was it, though, to sit through 6-1 votes and to be shut out? And again, not every initiative, but you put forward a lot of progressive ideas, I thought, to save money and while boosting quality. It got nowhere. Was that personally frustrating for you?
A little bit at times. But after it, I didn't quit, though.
You did not quit, and you're not quitting now.
and
You've
what-
shown up at school committee.
Yeah,
And as a matter of fact, you're the guy who showed up at the finance hearing for the schools, and the mayor made his now infamous remark when you wanted to speak, "Oh, wow, what a surprise,"
And
to disparage citizen involvement in government.
And it was funny, I never heard that remark. That went off over the broadcast, over the TVs.
There's a saying in radio and TV, and there's no such thing as a dead mic. And the mayor apparently thought he was not speaking, but his mic was live. And he issued that comment kind of as an aside, and it went over on the broadcast to kind of reveal his true position. Now, you've done a lot of work with school choice and analyzed numbers, and we were in a private discussion a couple days ago about where the money, when Pittsfield loses, the Pittsfield school system loses a student goes to Monument Mountain or elsewhere, Lenox, wherever, the money leaves, correct? When Pittsfield gains a student, the money comes into the city.
That's correct.
But there's
It's
a misunderstanding about all of that. Welcome to Pittsfield.
let me put it in this perspective. One thing.
What are the numbers? How many students did we lose?
Oh,
Like about 500? Don't need an exact number, Terry.
well, there's
400 or 500, between 4 and 5.
okay. 373 on school choice, but see, that's kind of a little bit misleading because
Where are the other ones?
the other, I think, 50 to 100, they're going to the charter school. The
Okay.
charter school is not included in school choice, and
But if
as
you count those, there's more than 100 at the Bart School from Pittsfield.
I'm not 100% sure. I can tell you. Let's see. Yeah, there is more than 100. I can tell by the charter school sending of 2,200,000 plus.
So we're talking 373 plus 100 or so. We're pushing 500 anyways. We're just trying to give ballpark figures here so folks understand. Now, every time a student leaves the system, what does it cost the city?
Okay. When a student takes school choice, let's say goes to Lennox, goes someplace else, costs us $5,000.
Okay, $5,000 a student times 500.
All right. No. This gets better.
It
All right.
gets better.
Yes.
I love this.
That's for school choice. When they go to the charter school, okay, I think the rate now is somewhere around 9,400 to 9,800, 9,400, 9,800 per student that goes to the charter school.
And you've totaled the grand sum of all of this net loss to the city between $3 and $4 million bucks. Right.
The net loss, right? This is from the state. This is right from the state's numbers.
State figures. So we'll
State today, net after, and I'll explain this out. $3,253,000. Boom.
So
That-
net loss to the city, $3.25 million. And now when we had some 80-some odd students, very odd apparently, decide to come to Pittsfield. Okay, and again, just a fraction of the number, but when we get the money, okay, the city side loses, the city budget loses money when students leave. When those 80-some odd students come to the city, I will ask you a question. Does the city get that money?
That money goes directly to the school department. It's a revolving account.
When Terry told me this a couple days ago, I did not know that. So when a student comes into the system, it does not go to the city side, the general fund, to be used as we wish, maybe to, God forbid, cut taxes. It goes to the schools to spend as they wish.
The charter school reimbursement, which is kind of an interesting term, the state calculates a certain number that will come back. About $550,000 does go directly to the city coffers. However, there's no good news on this one. That $3,250,000 is about $1 on the tax rate.
Do we have a laugh, a derisive laugh for that? Say that figure again.
$3,250,000. Well, you can laugh all the way to the bank with it, as I say, because
Well,
that's
if you're employed by the schools, you
oh,
can.
well, the taxpayers. That's about $1 on the tax rate. So if
that's
you have
a full buck on your tax rate,
yes, and
as
if
we
you
said.
have a $100,000 house, tax valued house, that's $100 that you're sending to Lennox, to Bart, to every place else.
And that's why, one of the reasons why the tax base continues to shrink. And, you know, you just do the math. Terry, you taught math, but fewer taxpayers, higher expenses means greater share of the burden for those unfortunate people who happen to be working in the dreaded private sector, holding down jobs, usually minimum wage jobs, and trying to hang on for dear life, which is why I don't accept, and I won't speak for you. Do you accept? They'll say, well, it's only $1 on the tax.
No.
It's only $4 a month or $50 a month. I don't buy that for a second.
I was kind of surprised when you pointed out on the planet. I just, I've been away for a while, so I read it just a few days ago. I'm not used to holding.
That's
them
all
up.
right. I think we're picking up pretty good.
Is that over the last 10 years, the budget's increased 49% approximately. And
That's correct.
I was checking with a couple of my friends who get Social Security. We couldn't really get to 9% instead of 49%. There's a lot of people on fixed incomes. Yeah, you get a percent increase like we do.
Tiny
Yeah,
percentages.
but it's based on a lot smaller number.
So over 10 years, they've taken a 40% hit. And my question that I raised on planetvalenti.com, a series of questions. The budget's gone up almost 50% in just 10 short years. Bianchi's putting forward a $148.14 million budget. Have the roads improved 50%? Has the economy improved 50%? Do we have 50% more income coming into the city? And you could ask a series of these questions. Have the schools improved 50%, however we measure their performance? The answers to all of those are no. The only thing that goes up 50% are the salaries and the programs that the city wants to keep alive. And many of them not needed.
There's another part of this that when you look at this is right off the state's Department of Revenue's website. We get unrestricted general government aid. And it's around $7,600,000. Here's what happens to that.
That's also taxpayer money.
You subtract the $3,253,000 away from that because the money's taken out before we ever get it. And so the $3 million is coming off the city side, where they really get around $4,430,000, and nothing. And I tried to have some budget manipulations, so a certain percentage of the outgoing money would reduce the school budget, and that was a 1 to 6.
It went nowhere. Well, at least there was 1 of 6, and as we said in our introduction, now it's they toss shutouts every time. They ought to win the school committee. I nominate them for the Cy Young Award. They throw a shutout every time, a 7-0 vote. Now, Terry, you've heard that. I don't know if you've seen the show. You've been out of town on business, and you just flew in from Arizona, and boy, are your arms tired. Laughter. Laughter. See, they just got that joke. That was why there was a.
It took me a minute to get it also. That's good.
But you've known that on the show, we've for the first 3 segments, we've been blessed by an appearance of the empty suit.
I have heard.
You have heard.
Oh,
Mr. Mayor himself, and I don't know that we're going to have him on, and I'm going to have to beseech the deity of the planet, whose name is Bog. B-O-G. Yeah, not Boz Skaggs. Yeah. Boz was also the nom de plume of Charles Dickens, but no, Bog. We're going to say a prayer right now to Bog. We're going to beseech the heavens, and if our prayers are answered, we may be graced by an appearance. So, Terry, if you want to just why don't you wander
this
over?
Is a hoot.
Why don't you live and in real time wander over to the seat next to the hot seat in the middle there, and I'm about to address the almighty Bog, and I'll take off my hat for this. And dear Bog, who art in hapless, full of holes be your name. We want you, in your divine wisdom, to grace us now with, where are you? These lights are bright. With the presence of the empty suit. We beseech you, in the name of all that is good, to show your face before us right now. To show your... there he is. We ask you now, in your divine wisdom, and in all of the things that you know to be true, and in the secrets that you keep in that mayonnaise jar on Funk and Wagnall's porch, to grant us the presence of the empty suit himself, great, all-knowing, almighty Bog, who was once in a former life the towel boy at the YWCA. Folks, our deity will make this happen. I really know this. We should hear celestial music. We should hear the songs from the heavens coming up right now. Not applause. Do not insult the great Bog that way. We need to hear the celestial music, ladies and gentlemen. I can hear it coming now. Why don't you? He is here. Do we have that stinking music? No. Is this going on the air? Handel's Messiah? Forget about it. Sit the friggin' empty suit down in the chair. Let's cut right away to the set. No, not this one. We're not ready with this yet. We didn't have that music ready. Jeez. Live TV, folks. What camera am I on? Right here. Okay. So he, I guess the gods, I guess Bog was kind of peeved a little bit for some reason. We did not hear the music, but we're going to wander over now to where the empty suit is now our guest, and Terry Kinnis is kind of sitting in between. And if you can just come in on with this. Yes, thank you. How about this camera right here so we can get a close-up? Oh, okay. I was ready to break into T for two. Hey, boy, the joys of live TV, Terry. Yes. Now, you notice he's got a ribbon on tonight. And look, Jesus. I told you this last week, you dope. Tuck in your...
Hey.
Tuck in, Terry, will you tell the mayor this is television, okay? You got to look presentable, you know? I'm going to have to call my friends in the North End pretty soon on Salem Street. They're legitimate businessmen. They are respected members of the community. Oh. And the fact that they made $27 million last year running a coin-operated laundromat is merely testimony to their acumen as business people. So anyways, Mr. Mayor, Tess, the empty suit, get it? The empty suit. Tess, welcome to the show once again. Good to see you. And how you doing tonight? I guess nothing. Terry's got a ribbon on. Why do you think he's wearing a ribbon?
Well,
what is it about ribbons and this guy?
From reading The Planet, actually, I think he was trying to do economic development with the ribbons. And unfortunately, it was a little bit late because if you remember, Rice's silk mill went out of business, and he could have kept the whole operation there as a manufacturing operation, cutting the ribbons.
Single-handedly because of all the ribbons this guy has cut. It has been unbelievable. And, Mr. Mayor, we've asked you this before, but, you know, the ribbons you've cut and the certificates you've given, the proclamations, the fourth-grade science fairs that you've visited, and all of the other stuff you've done, do you have any real accomplishments, great accomplishments? Again, we'll give you the opportunity. Yeah, put the mic there, Terry. See. I thought I heard crickets chirping. Yeah. Okay, I guess not. Terry, do Do you have any questions for the empty suit?
I might have one or two.
Okay.
Something.
You've been dying to know, or while we have them here.
Actually, I would like to know. What's the matter?
Yep,
No,
go
no,
ahead.
Sitting here, I'm ready to. This is funny. This is what I think would be more interesting is to have the mayor himself come on.
Well, we invited
wait a
him.
minute, and interview the empty suit.
It's the same thing.
It's
exactly the same
but
thing. I've been on the air with this guy. Do we have a shot of Dan Valenti and Dan Bianchi in better days? Do we have that up there? Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Oh, look at that. The hair is dark, and the skies are sunny at the same time. But that was taken on the set of Planet Valenti. No, what am I saying? The Dan Valenti show on WBRK Radio. So we've had better times with him, and but we've interviewed him before, and I'll tell you what. You know what it's like? It's like that, basically. But yeah, what do you want to ask him though?
Why does the budget keep going up? Very simple. And one of the questions that we had when I was on the school committee on the teacher pay raises, the more money that comes in from the state on Chapter 7, the more money we come in from the state on Chapter 70, you put in that they get a pay raise. And I asked the question, and I'll ask it again: if less money comes,
shot here.
if less money comes in from the state, do they have to give any of the money back? And you said, no way, they only get raises. I can't figure out why.
And you never explained that to our right honorable good friend Terry. Well, there you go. There's a saying that the hardest argument to win is when you attempt to defend the indefensible. And this is why this guy, it's not really him, but it's why he really does not want to take honest questions about these things, Terry. I notice you got a piece of paper here, by the way. Folks, did you know, isn't there a secret meeting going to take place tomorrow, Terry?
Well,
This is unbelievable.
there's a special meeting of the city council tomorrow.
Well, what time? 7 p.m. maybe, when folks can go?
Friday, May 30th at 12 p.m.
That's noon.
Noon,
We're
yes.
gonna have now, surely at that hour, hardly anyone who is working would be available. I'm taking a guess they're going to discuss some insignificant issue that really won't matter. So that's why they scheduled it at noon, correct?
Well, something like that.
What are they going to deal with
Okay,
here? Is the empty suit going to be there?
According to this, he's going to be there and present the budget
The budget.
to the city council.
The budget? They're going to discuss the budget. He's presenting the budget to the city council tomorrow at noon when no one's going to be around to attend? Isn't that amazing?
Now, it goes.
Dishonesty in government, Terry.
This gets better. I did call Ms. Mazzio today, and I haven't got a return phone call. I did talk to Chris Connell for a few seconds, and he was just getting back from his honeymoon, and he hadn't really looked at that closely.
So we have one of the members who has not looked at it closely, and this was news to me when Terry brought this up, this surprise meeting all of a sudden at noon, and I wonder how many counselors had adequate time, assuming they were interested in brushing up and going through, to prepare for this meeting. It's only $148 million at stake, folks. Do not take this. For once, tell them no. This is what I think.
Well, this gets better. When I read through this, I couldn't believe what I was reading. A communication from Mayor Bianchi submitting an order authorizing the city treasurer with the approval of the mayor to borrow an aggregate sum for capital expenses. Also, next item.
Borrowing money. Good.
Right?
Yeah, that's great.
This one, well, actually, everybody will like this one. Only we haven't even done the budget yet. A communication from Mayor Bianchi submitting an order appropriating certified free cash. That's certified free cash is basically surplus tax money they've collected to reduce the fiscal year 2015 tax rate.
So they're spending money. They haven't even gone through the budget.
Right.
The mayor has proposed borrowing a sum, assigning a sum from free cash. They haven't even gone through the budget. This is unbelievable. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's get this bum out of here. Come on, little Lord Fauntleroy. Let's go. Can you walk for the people? Get out of here now. All right. Hey, Terry, come on over to the chart here. We got
It's like being with the Muppets.
I just saw Paul Winchell walk in the studio and with Sherry Lewis. You got to be of a certain age to get that joke. Anyways, we're going to go through a little chart here, and if we can switch to our camera that's got the chart in order. You have up here, let me use my pointer. I'm going to need both of these. Pittsfield School Department Administration. Now, think about this, folks. Just to set it up, when the Pittsfield schools had 12,000 students, give or take, double of what they are now, 12,000 students as opposed to 6,000, you had one superintendent, for a long time, James Reynolds, one superintendent and one secretary, and maybe two secretaries in the administration. Here's what we have going into fiscal year 2015. And Terry, if you will announce the titles. The first one is...
I'm sorry.
Terry, come on. Wake up.
With all the...
Not in front of the camera. Okay.
This is past my bedtime.
It is.
But superintendent of schools.
Okay. Here's what it's costing for the superintendent. $157,000. Now, you'd figure that that's a good sum of money, and he ought to be able to handle the job, but there's more. I'm a lefty, Terry, so let's just switch sides. Second one. Terry.
Deputy superintendent.
$120,000. Surely it stops there.
Now, the next one, I didn't know they changed the title. The assistant superintendent for personnel.
Assistant super. So we have a deputy superintendent and assistant superintendent of personnel. Now, this position is unfilled. Okay. So we don't really know the amount, but it will be, give or take, $100,000. Let's go on to the next one.
Right.
We have 11 secretaries. Is that the next one? Yeah. 11 secretaries. $443,381. Let's see, 11 secretaries. What's the next one, Terry?
Lords a-leaping.
10 lords a-leaping.
Yes.
11 secretaries, 10 lords a-leaping. Cost of that is priceless. Can we get a shot of the chart again? There it is. Lords a-leaping, priceless. Then we go up to the top of the other side here, and we have
the Director of Human Resources.
Director of Human Resources. They have a HR director on the city side, makes about $65,000. Director of HR on school side makes $87,500. We go on to number 7, Terry.
What are you doing here with these two.
Well, let's just keep going.
No, I didn't even, like I've been away probably.
Even he's shocked. Number 7.
Assistant superintendent for vocational.
Up until June the 30th, that is Frank Freehouse Cody. What's that? I think it's 929. $91,929 for a guy who's been about as useful as tits on a bull, you know? Number 8, Terry.
Hey.
Number 8, Terry.
Okay. Oh, this is too
No,
much.
number 8, Terry.
Yes, no. Assistant superintendent of business and finance.
That is Kristen Tex Beneke. She was a great star played with Glenn Miller, as a matter of fact, in his orchestra. The assistant notice this, a superintendent, a deputy, an assistant, another assistant. She makes $97,500. Whoa.
And she has 13 people working for her.
13 people. We're not even
business
including those.
Oh, no.
Number 9. We got a phone call, I understand, too. But let's just quickly go through these.
Assistant business manager.
She's got an assistant plus 13 people. That assistant makes $55,000. And finally, there's a miscellaneous cost consisting of, Terry?
It says legal settlements, legal services, central office, etc.
Etc. Legal settlements. Gee, wonder what that figure is. Well, the overall figure is $360,000. And folks, from 12,000 students, and one superintendent a few years ago to 6,000 students to all of this, and this is just a portion of the administrative costs. That's where we've gone. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Hi there. Yes? Well, I guess not. They said we had a phone call. I guess not. But, Terry, we're not making these figures up. We've had some. No, wait.
I know.
We've had some fun here tonight, but these figures are serious because, and this is just the administrative part of the $57/$100 million school budget. Runaway costs.
And the funniest thing, until I got on the school committee, the first year on, the person who closed the books in July was the superintendent of schools' secretary. I went in and she had piles of paper. She was closing the books and submitting it to the state.
Well,
and she doesn't get paid anywhere
near
these numbers.
And that's usually the case. The ones who are actually in the trenches doing the work are the ones that get stiffed. And meanwhile, the taxpayers, the taxpayer, are floating that crap game. And it's pun intended. It's a crap game. And they're going to do it all over you. And Terry just shared with us a great piece of, and we're breaking it right here. The mayor has called tomorrow. We got about 3 minutes left, not quite. About 2 minutes of airtime, and then I'll say goodbye. You broke it on this show, Planet Valenti TV. We'll probably write about it on planetvalenti.com. The mayor is scheduled the first budget hearing and his presentation to the city council tomorrow at noon.
Yes.
Do you think that's a coincidence?
In this town, definitely a coincidence.
Yeah. It has to be.
Just
out of the blue.
Everybody's gone to press. Okay, the Gazette's gone to press. That's your only other independent coverage. The Courier has gone to press. Boom. Setup.
It's a setup. Terry,
and I just
keep going. I'm going to walk out of camera for range for a second.
I'm just appalled sometimes that you have meetings in the middle of the day. Wait till you see the next one coming from the School Building Needs Commission early next week.
Well, Terry, if you will
But-
hold this cigar for a second. This is a Carlos Torano Churchill, 7 inches, 48 ring size. It's a cigar that is worn by, and I'm just going to bring this in. You got to see this. This was sent by the Generalissimo Juan Carlos Jose Jimenez Ricardo Montalban de la Vega, no están Lavandazanientes de la Santana. The Generalissimo himself, has sent us this hat because I'm going to break this right now. There is a coup, I think, that's underway in the city of Pittsfield. A change of government will probably be in place by next week's show. And we have word that the Generalissimo himself will be visiting the set. And Terry, we are just about out of time, so I want to thank you. Give Terry Kinnis a hand, folks, for joining us tonight. Yes? Yes? There you go. Take a bow.
Well,
And I am going to tell you, folks, that you have just seen another fantastic hour of Planet Valenti Television, PVTV. Join us on the web at planetvalenti.com, where we will share the latest and the greatest information that you need to know to make intelligent decisions about the future of this city. The truth. That's what we peddle here on the planet. On behalf of Terry Kinnis, the empty suit, and our tremendous job again done by our staff, this is Dan Valenti saying so long, everybody.